Hey everyone, welcome to the Warrior Mindset. Today we're really excited to bring you another guest instructor.
So our instructor today, her name is Mericka, and she's a longtime teacher. I used to take her classes before I was an instructor, Wednesdays at 4 o'clock at Hot Yoga Downtown. Every Wednesday I was there, and I just really love her style and her flows. And today she's doing a nice slow 30-minute flow. It's called Slow Down and Reset, and she's doing it with Tyrus, and I'm super excited to take this class. One word, blanket. Okay, I feel like we all need that in our lives right now, a little bit of comfort with everything going on. So before you lay down your mat or get on your rug, make sure to have an extra blanket there with you at your side.
Super excited for these guests. Thank you guys for joining us. If you guys want to see anything else, if you want to see a workout, you can click the link right here. Tune in for tomorrow's video. We're trying to do one video a day for 3 weeks. So wish us luck. We wish you luck for this workout, and we'll see you soon.
Hi, thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to lead you through a 30-minute, pretty relaxing, mellow little yoga flow. So if you're feeling pretty stressed out, this will be a nice little refresh. We are going to utilize a blanket. If you don't have a blanket like this, you can just use a towel and just give yourself a little height. We're going to start laying down. So what you want to do is put the blanket kind of towards the top of your mat, and you're gonna lay with kind of right where like your bra strap would land if you were a lady.
Bra strap.
And you're just gonna start like this, laying down. Start to breathe in and out through the nose. See if you can relax the jaw. And start to focus more on the out breath. As you exhale, try to make yourself feel a little bit more grounded. And a little bit more settled. Take one more really big inhale. Hold the breath at the top. And then slower than normal, take a really long exhale. From here, you're going to bend your knees, feet flat to the ground, and just roll over to your right side, coming into a fetal position. It's nice to utilize your arm as a little pillow if you need, but if that's irritating for the head or the arm, you can always put the head on the ground. And then just reach back and move that blanket out of the way and come flat to your back, knees bent, feet on the ground, arms down by your side, palms rolled up. You're going to keep your left foot on the ground. You're going to cross your right foot over your left thigh. This may be enough stretch for you, and that's fine. To amplify, we're going to pull the left leg in towards us, reach through that space you've created, and now grab either on top of the left shin or behind the left hamstring. And as you do that, there's a tendency to hunch your shoulders. So try to press the shoulders down into the ground and imagine the shoulder blades coming together behind you. See if you can elongate the neck. And maybe roll more weight over to the left side. If the flexibility permits, you're going to pull the left leg in, and in opposition to that, you're going to press the right leg away. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then keep the cross with the right leg, but bring the left foot down to the ground. And you're just gonna roll over to the left side. The right arm can come into a nice little cactus. This may be enough stretch for you, or you can try to reach and grab that right ankle with your left hand and pull the foot in closer towards you. With every exhale, try to find a little bit more softness. I'm always really mindful coming out of twist on my lower back. So I will unhook my foot first and then roll myself back up to center. Just kind of straighten out the hips here. Make sure you feel pretty centered, and we'll do the other side. So right foot is down, left foot crosses. This may be plenty of stretch for you. Otherwise, you're gonna reach through and grab either behind the back of the leg or on top of the right shin. I like to keep my feet flexed. You might want to do a point with them, but do something so that they're not just hanging there being lazy. Try to elongate the neck. Make sure you're not a Pez dispenser with your chin. And then remind yourself to pull the shoulder blades back down. Maybe a little bit more weight towards the right. And if possible, you're going to press the left leg away in opposition of you pulling the right leg in. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then the right foot comes down. You're going to take the arms into a little cactus and let the hips and the foot roll over to the right. You can stay just like this, or you can reach and grab your foot with your right hands. And try to get a little bit deeper into the outer left hip. Go ahead and unhook the foot, bring the knees back up to center, and then pull both knees in towards the chest. You can keep the knees really close, or you can go really wide, it doesn't matter, but try to bring some movement now into your hips, your lower back. And keeping the knees bent, the feet are going to come back down to the ground. We're going to move into some rolling bridges. So see if you can pull the heels in a little bit closer towards your glutes. Firmly plant the feet down. And as you inhale, you're going to lift your arms and your hips, reach up. Ideally, the hands touch at the top of that inhale, and then you're going to exhale and roll everything back down. Inhale brings you up. Exhale rolls you down. Keep moving. Inhale up. Exhale down. Two more. Exhale down. This last one we're going to hold. Inhale brings you all the way up. Going to keep the arms up overhead. Make sure you're not rolling to the outer edges of the feet. You're pressing the big toe mounds down into the ground. Try to keep the weight more into the shoulders, not in the head, not in the neck. And then can you press your hips a little bit higher? One more breath here. And then we'll roll slower than you want to go, all the way down. From here, we're going to take that blanket that we had, or the towel, whatever it is that you have. Lift up your hips.
Bring it underneath your bottom, and then just go ahead and straighten the legs down and straighten the arms up overhead. You want to keep a little bend in the elbows, that's totally fine. Just find a comfortable place for you to relax. You probably hear my dog licking in the background. That's Rosie. Just ignore her. From here, we're going to keep the blanket right where it is. Take your left leg more out into a diagonal and then pull the right leg in, coming into a variation of wind relieving pose. So if you don't have that flexibility of the hip, no big deal. You can always grab behind the back of the right leg or on top of the shin, whatever's better for you. And as you get a little bit more open, you're going to start to pull that right knee a little bit out to the right and then down towards that right armpit. Resist the urge to hunch the shoulders. Try to keep the neck long. And with every exhale breath, can you find a little bit more depth? Nice, gently release that. Stretch back out, lengthen everything back down, and 2 breath cycles here. Keep that right leg more out on a diagonal towards the corner of your mat on the bottom side. And then the left leg is going to pull in. If you're getting kind of stuck in the hip, no big deal. You just keep the grip more behind the back of the leg. And you start to try to pull the knee in closer towards you. So we're compressing into the left hip, but we're opening up the front side of the right. One more full breath cycle. And as you exhale, try to find a little bit more depth. Gently release that down and back flat. 2 breath cycles. From here, keeping the towel or the blanket right where it is, you're going to bend the knees and then slowly stretch the legs up to the ceiling. If it's difficult for you to straighten the legs, no big deal. You just keep them bent. Otherwise, you're working on getting them straight. Pulling the toes back towards the face. The little pinky toes don't like to cooperate here, so make sure you are paying attention to what they're doing and trying to pull the pinky toes back towards your face as well. If you do have the ability to get your legs straight, you're engaging the front of your thighs. And now just moving the feet, we're going to do ankle rolls here. So there's a tendency people want to roll their whole leg. Legs are staying still and just the feet are moving. See if you can get a little bit more mobility through each foot. Make the circle bigger. And now go ahead and reverse the circles. Might start to feel some burn on the front of the shin, pretty normal. And now point and flex the toes, point. And then pull the knees in, Just give yourself a little squeeze. Feet come down, go ahead and lift up the hips, get that blanket out from underneath you. Arms are either gonna cactus or go into a T, whatever you prefer. Left foot stays down. Right leg is gonna cross over as if you're gonna eagle wrap your legs. So right leg is on top, and now you're gonna let your legs fall over to the right. If the neck permits, you can look over to the left, but you're never cranking the neck over. And if that's irritating, you just stay looking up at the ceiling. You can even look over to the right if that's better for you. One more breath cycle. As you exhale, can you find a little bit more softness? And then go ahead and unhook the legs. Knees come back up to center. Straighten out the hips again. Right foot's gonna stay down this time. Left leg crosses. And then the legs fall over to the left. So we're opening up through the outer hip with this one. You want to turn your head over to the right, you can do that. If that's irritating for the neck, you just stay looking up at the ceiling. One more breath cycle. Gently unhook. Knees back up to center. Knees pull into the chest, and then squeeze yourself into a nice little yoga ball. Trying to get the forehead into the knees, trying to tuck the chin into the chest. And then we're gonna rock and roll up and down. If that's irritating for you, you don't have to do that. If you want to come into a little baby plow, you can do that. That's where you just bring your feet up overhead. And then we'll come to seated facing the front. You can stay facing the front. I'm gonna face you guys, me and Tyrus will. So we're gonna come into a wide leg Bhujangasana. So feet a little bit wider than normal away from you. So you have this nice big diamond. And then you wanna keep your spine really nice and up and down. We're gonna start to move forward from here. If you're feeling pretty tight in the hips, you can always place something underneath the knees. And we're just gonna start to walk forward. There's a tendency to wanna hunch here. If you find yourself hunching, you've gone too far. So just stay nice and straight with the back. And we'll just start to walk forward. You can always sit on a blanket or a block as well. I think I called this Bhujangasana. That's not what this pose is. It's bound angle. Every exhale, you're trying to find a little bit more depth. And you're thinking about pressing the heart forward. So whenever we move into forward folds, there's a tendency to want to go down, but it's not a downward fold, it's a forward fold. One more deep inhale. Complete full exhale. Slowly inhale up. We'll just do a nice gentle twist from here. You're gonna bring your right hand behind you. Your left hand crosses in front of you. And as you exhale, you're just gonna roll open. As you inhale, try to elongate the back. And as you exhale, can you find a little bit more twist?
Inhale brings you back forward, and we'll go the other way. Left hand behind you, right hand crosses. Really deep inhale first, and then as you exhale, you're going to roll open. Inhale for length, and exhale, twist. Inhale brings you back forward, and you're going to stretch your right leg out and pull your left foot into your thigh. We're going to bring the arms out to the side like a big T for Tyrus. Inhale, stretch, and from here you're going to twist and try to grab the outer edge of that right foot. If you can't do that, you can always bend the knee here and just work here and work on getting towards that foot. Your right hand can either wrap behind your lower back, or it can just come to rest on the ground right by your tailbone. Working on twisting over to the right, and eventually the left ear is going to come down to that right knee. Trying to pull the pinky toe back towards the face. And slowly release out of that. We'll go right to the other side. Left leg out, right leg in. Stretch the arms out wide. Really nice long back. Inhale. And we'll exhale over to the left. Once again, if you do not have that flexibility to grab the foot, you don't have to. You can grab onto the shin. You can bend the knee. You do what you need to do so that you can feel the stretch. Eventually you're twisting to the left so that that right ear will start to make its way down towards the left knee. We'll inhale, bring it on back up. From here, we're going to stretch the legs straight in front of us. So it's helpful if you kind of walk the flesh of your butt back from underneath you. You can always still sit on your blanket here. We're going to start with bent knees. You're going to stretch the arms up. Taking your two peace sign fingers, reach and grab your big toes here. So this might be enough, and you're working on pulling your feet back. From here, you're going to start to try to straighten the legs. Walking your hips back and pressing the chest forward. So if you are like this, come back a little bit. You want a nice straight back as you begin to make your way into your forward fold. Remind those little pinky toes to come back towards the face. If your legs go straight, you are staying really engaged with the front of the thighs. But if they don't go straight, it's not a big deal. Work where you can work. I think the coronavirus pandemic has taken like 50% of my flexibility away. One more breath, deep inhale, lengthen the back, and now press the chest more forward. Imagine that your heart's going to come over your big toes. Nice, and gently roll back up. From here, go ahead and make your way into a tabletop. So you're just going to roll over. Take your hands pretty much right underneath your shoulders. Take your knees pretty much right underneath your hips. We're going to do some traditional cat-cow breathing. So one thing that I see a lot of is that people want to do their cat-cow with just their lower back, but it really should be your entire spine. So think about starting from your head and making your way down to your tailbone. So we're going to start on an exhale breath.
So as you exhale, you're going to start to round your chin to chest. Press the mat and floor away from you. Start to round the middle and the upper back. And then really tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, the head starts to lift. The shoulders widen. The heart presses through. And then the tailbone lifts. Start moving at your own pace, your own breath cycle. The exhale brings you into a nice round angry cat. And the inhale opens up that front line of the body as you move into your cow. A few more at your own pace. Last one, and we'll hold on that exhale. Squeeze that chin into the chest, squeeze the tailbone under, round the upper back, and then we'll make our way back to neutral. From here, you're gonna take your right knee a little bit more midline with the body, stretch the right foot back, keeping the right toes on the ground, so straighten that right leg out. From here, you're gonna take the foot, the right foot, and cross it behind your left foot. And then start to try to drop that right hip down. You should feel a nice stretch on the outer right side. Some more like, you feel it right here? And you can kind of roll around here too, like to see what feels better for you, for your back, for your body. One more breath. And then bring that foot right back to where you started. You're gonna spin the left heel open. Take the left hand right underneath the left shoulder, plant the right foot down, and then stretch the right arm up overhead, bicep in line with the ear. You can stay more like this, or you can start to spin the heart open so it's more like a backward bend. Make sure you're not locking the left elbow out. There should be some kind of like bounce to it so that you are not irritating that. If this is hard for your head, you can always bend the right arm, take the right hand behind your head and give it a little support. And then gently make your way back. We're gonna twist the other way. So take the two knees right back underneath the hips, the right arm reaches up, and then you're just gonna thread the right arm through. So you can keep your hips high. I don't like the way that feels, so I drop mine a bit lower to get my twist. And slowly make your way back up to your tabletop position. Take the right knee a little bit more midline with the body. Take the left leg back. Cross the left foot back behind the right. And then play around here with what feels best for your hips. It feels better for me when I start to drop my left hip down and then kind of pull my right hip back. One more breath. As you exhale, try to find a little bit more softness. Nice, gently with the lower back on that one coming out. Two knees back underneath the hips. We're gonna twist it out the other way. Right hand plants. Oh, I missed it. Thanks. You're gonna spin that right heel open. Right hand right under the shoulder. Roll it open. Left arm can come in line with the ear. If that's irritating for the neck, you just bring the hand behind the head. So make sure your right hand is right underneath your shoulder. You don't want it way out in front of you. You'll irritate your shoulder doing that. And now we'll go into our other twist. 2 knees under the hips. Left arm stretches up, and as you exhale, you make your way into your twist. If you want to keep your hips high, you can keep them high. If you want to drop them low, you can do that. Slowly start to make your way out and find your way into a comfortable seat. I like to sit kind of like in a Sukhasana, just an easy pose, but it is nice to have your hips elevated above your knees, and that might feel really nice too. But any which way you want to sit, doesn't matter. You just want to be able to have your hips really like firmly planted, whether that's on a block or a blanket or on your heels. And then the spine is nice and light and lifted. If you want to close your eyes here, you can do that. So just take a moment to check in, do a little body scan. Is there some place you're holding tension? And can you let that go? For me, it's always my jaw. So I always have to remind myself to soften my face, soften my jaw, soften my neck. Make sure you're not hunching through the shoulders. Make sure you're not holding the stomach. Your abdomen should move as you breathe. So think about your belly really expanding as you inhale. And then can you use your abdomen to help you exhale? Find a little bit more calm, a little bit more settled. Take one more really big inhale. Hold the breath. And then slowly out of the mouth, exhale. Thanks so much for practicing with us. I hope you're staying safe out there, staying sane. I know that we're getting a little bit of cabin fever, but have a good one.